Last week, we began our conversation with Cynthia Luvlee, Chief Development Officer and founding board member of Shyne. If you missed that episode, I encourage you to go back and listen as we discuss the economic challenges facing vulnerable communities and how innovative organizations are responding. Today, we continue that important conversation by exploring Shyne's revolutionary approach to supporting survivors of trafficking and exploitation. Cynthia and her unstoppable team of dedicated volunteers and employees work tirelessly to provide survivor entrepreneurs with access to small business support, mentorship, coaching, education, and capital. They envision a new economy where survivor business owners network to maximize impact and accelerate innovative solutions. By generating equity and shifting power, they believe financial independence and freedom for all survivors is possible. In this second part of our conversation, Cynthia shares how Shyne has reimagined support services by focusing on purpose, dignity, and entrepreneurship rather than traditional rescue models. We'll explore how building ongoing relationships and responsive programming has created a sustainable community where survivors design their own paths to success. As a fellow nonprofit leader, there is so much we can learn from each other's approaches, even when our missions differ. But do they? Let's dive back into this enlightening conversation. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's been 5 years. And they're like, hey, I'm in a new career. I'm the Economic Empowerment Program Coordinator for one of the largest NGOs in New York. And they want to do survivor entrepreneurship. And it's really hard to start something. I'm like, yeah, it is. So why don't you just tap into our network and not fiddle fuddle around with trying to do what we're doing? We've learned so much, and it's through the grace of the trust of the community and actually listening. So many times we'll take a survey and then nothing happens. Mm-hmm. Like if the government asks us like, hey, what are the top 3 needs? And we tell them, and then they just totally don't do that. You're like, why did you even ask me to begin with? So that's really how Shyne is different. We're a responsive program. So every year we do in-depth surveys and we adjust our programming to meet the needs of our current members. Our members can always access the services and then steeped in coaching. So it's like an online, privately, held network where they get all of their digital classes. They can access all of the past classes. They can network with one another, and then they really get to design what's the best for them. Some people can do 10 hours a week. Some people can do 40 hours a week. It just really depends on the individual. So we can customize it. And then we connect them with coaches. So as their nonprofit, that's my expertise as a nonprofit startup specialist, design and implementation. I do a lot of that coaching, but we partner with all these pro bono volunteers who are incredible, teaching cybersecurity, networking, how to pitch to investors, all of the financial stuff, all of the marketing stuff, organic marketing, all the things. And people just show up and want to pour into this community. And then I've just watched, it took years, it wasn't like a 9-month thing, but 2 years later, now they've really got the traction and they're like, this is the first place that I've actually been able to build my business. And I'm making $5,000 a month now. I never would have been able to do that before. But it wasn't because we cut them off at some point. Right. We actually hired them business to business to contract with them so they could get our testimonials so that they can help our operations and then we can help push them for, it's like a beautiful ecosystem of people who are all dedicated to ending really exploitation and profiting off of people's pain. Yes. We don't do any of that. Nobody ever has to retell their story here, ever. They get to move forward with a clean slate. We understand that they come to this work with a lot of experience and that each of them have a calling. And that's the thing, is like connecting people to their purpose. And then they're just like, like rocket ships.
Oh, yeah. Because they know once they nail what it is, mm-hmm. their core, there is no stopping, because then nothing else feels right. And so you're constantly trying to get back on that track, back to where the core is, that I know where this is. I know that this feels good. This is where I need to be. And anytime something tries, like the people that were trying to drag you away from that, nope, get right back on center. because you have no idea. You are not a match for my life and the
Right.
trajectory I see for myself.
Right.
And if you are not, then you have to go away.
Or tell me I can't do something. And then, you get partners like Mr. Ballin Foundation. It was the first grant we ever received. If you were to go look at grants,
I know.
entrepreneurship is not, especially for survivors of trafficking. It's
It
pretty
doesn't
not.
come up because it's all in the wording with grants. It's all in finding that could fit us. And I've learned it just takes a lot more time. I have one chapter leader in Connecticut. She's always finding these grants. She finds grants for her chapter all the time. She has
Wow.
money all the time for, and all they're doing is making blankets, and not all they're doing, but
Yeah.
it's not that complicated. We make blankets, we give them away,
Mhm.
period. And so she makes it fit any grant.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, you focus on these people, we'll focus on those people. You focus on this aspect, we'll focus on that aspect.
Right.
That's where I see that's true entrepreneurship. Jean has that. She's a teacher, and she came to us after Sandy Hook because it
Mm.
was by her.
Mm.
And so she has stayed with us because we are all volunteer and because we're open to any idea as long as it serves the kids. We don't care.
Right.
Just have it be pure motivation from your heart, because they feel every stitch, and if they're nasty stitches, they're going to feel them.
Right.
I love that openness. I mean, you talk about always, just tell me not to do something. For me, it was invite me to something that I'm not ready for, and I'm still going to say yes because it's an opportunity. When we started, we launched, and within a month, a beautiful reporter, a crusty broad, who was a journalist in Laguna Beach. She could be crusty with that really soft, gooey center. And she put a little tiny paragraph about an organization I started in my art gallery. And Oprah's people found it, and we went national.
Wow.
And what do I say? I'm sorry, we're not a nonprofit yet. Can you wait? No, you say yes.
Yeah.
You say yes to everything like that,
Yeah.
and trust, because otherwise I'm not seeing the gifts around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to trust that there's a gift. You are a gift today to me. You are a gift to be able to have this conversation. And, I was thinking, right, so I have my business that feeds my family, and then I have Binky Patrol.
Right.
So Binky Patrol is coming up on 30 years. Yep. We
Amazing.
start. I know. So this June, I'm heading down, and some of the original chapter leaders are still with us. We've had people with us the full 30 years. I
Amazing.
mean, it really is. We've had kids join us after they receive blankets and start chapters on their own.
Wow.
We've had it come totally full circle. And so I'm going down with the directors, and a couple of people are flying in, and we're celebrating for a whole weekend. And we've invited some of the other chapter leaders that are nearby. Come hang with us. We're
Yeah.
going to the beach. Come hang with us for the weekend. And just looking forward to celebrating and laughing about some of the wacky things we've tried
Right. Over
that we've
30.
tried on. It's like, we are not golf tournaments. We are not, there's something we are not. And I had friends that wanted to do a golf tournament that I went to high school with. And I said, you do a golf tournament. So we did it. It's a hell of a lot of work, way too hard. I'd rather just go ask companies for money or get grants. It was
Yeah.
a lot of work. And that was early out there. Oh, but they had fun, and it was a dream come true for them.
Yeah.
And I thought, you're believing in what I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
and willing to put the time in. I will do this. And so I've also learned, and you've seen this, where building community and building my organization, and it is mine, isn't just though about doing my mission. It's seeing the other people that want to get involved, and why are they getting involved. Some of them it's a hole.
Yeah.
Some of them it's that need to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So the job of Binky Patrol isn't just to make blankets and give it to kids. It's to welcome others who want a way to help change lives. So how do I create more opportunities like that for them?
Yeah. Resource for a common goal.
Yeah, common goals, but
And it feels
something
like
that's
provides
easy.
comfort. It provides comfort, right? It's
Yeah,
something that, like you're saying, the impact is lasting. And I love that it's a tangible item. I think there's a lot of things that I do, for business, it feels very tangible. It's like I
Yes.
can look and see the progress, where the healing is non-linear. And so
Right.
the organization kind of changes with time, and whatever's happening with our personal lives, and the people that we're working with. And then also there is this tangible blanket that you have, that you can see goes to this person to provide comfort, to provide a reminder that they matter, and somebody cares. And if everybody would just do that, we'd be better. And so for Shyne, I was sharing, my friend, and I'll say his name is Janus Osiris Red Moon. We have Kindness Fest. And so his business was one of the sponsors last year. And it was really the last time that I got to see him out and about. And so Karma Yoga folks called, and they're like, hey, we always want to support Shyne. What do you have going on this year? And I said, in my friend's honor, and in the honor of like Kindness Fest really being the place that we bring community together from all aspects of life. It's a roots rock and reggae festival. We do not do galas or golf tournaments ever. And we need to start like doing this, and to build the momentum. I said, why don't we make kindness bundles? Why don't we just run around town and give out kindness bundles? This is like going to be so fun. And the karmic yoga people were like, yes, absolutely. We can bring in, our old construction paper and this and that, and like put together how it's going to be done. And then people can do it at home, and then we can, and it's just that spark, right? And
Right.
it's not, it's mine, but it's like ours. And just to go around and know that, for me, it's like in honor of his name and legacy. I do small acts of kindness every day. Like if I see a grumpy person, I really do my best to turn that frown upside down, and they will fight me on it. People are really committed, right? They're like,
They are.
I'm like, you look beautiful. And they're like, and I'll say it like silently, in his name. And that's my friend, Janus. I don't want people to get confused that I'm of any religious indoctrination, but I do believe in something greater than ourselves.
Yeah, and it is, but it is a wonderful way to honor a beautiful spirit
Right?
and to honor his life. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong. I mean, people remember saints and everything else, but that's really what that's about. It's the
That,
remembrance of the deeds they did, the change they made, the hardships they endured
yeah.
to try and change the world.
Yeah.
And that story is the same. I have a neighbor, she is known as the kindness catalyst, Linda Cohen. And
Already.
and so she does trainings like at healthcare facilities and banks and all these places to teach people about kindness in the workplace and the economy of kindness. That's her book, The Economy of Kindness.
Beautiful.
I'm blessed to surround myself. I have another woman, Helen Fanucci, and she wrote the book Love Your Team.
Mm.
And it's about, in enterprise level businesses, you can still love your team and listen and have conversations and respect and support them, that they might take off and go, and that's okay.
Mm.
But you give them those pieces.
Mm.
And then I have a friend who's a minister. She's a Presbyterian minister. And she has a gym there. And they have a lot of homeless people that they serve, and they're very devoted to helping the community. So they built a pickleball court, and the homeless people are invited there to do something other than stand in a line to wait for food
Yeah.
and services, and they get to play pickleball.
Yeah.
That's dignity, that to give people
So simple.
dignity, a respite, some joy. Nobody wants to stand in a line all day.
No.
Nobody wants to be reminded that their life sucks at the moment. So give them some brightness, some joy, some interaction with their friends, maybe with the other parishioners there. Like really build community, not just you guys go that day, we go this day. Blend. It's your community. And it's that turning the frown upside down. Same mentality.
Mhm.
It doesn't take much. That little bit of that binky, the binky that we give, you can give binkies from your heart, from your mouth, from your eyes, from your smile.
Yeah.
There are so many ways that we can change.
Yeah. I love this conversation. It's reminding me, I have this image in my head. My children and I do First Saturdays, help the homeless when they were little growing up. And you know those blankets that you like tie at the ends, right?
My house is filled with them.
Okay. So we had those that they were gifted to us when our house burned up. So 2011, that's a whole other story. But so we had these blankets, and one of them, it was like green on one side, dinosaur on the other. And so this is like a year or two ago. So it's like a 12-year-old blanket, and a couple of those ties have come apart and such. And so we're down there, and my daughter wanted to give it because it was theirs to give, just that human to human
Yep.
interaction. I'll have to send you the photo. So this gentleman who gets it was so excited, and he is wearing it like a poncho, and
Yes.
it's got this whole thing going on. He looks like a dinosaur, and we're just laughing and having the best time with his head through this blanket. And it's just those moments, right? There are these tiny little moments, but actually create a ripple effect of what you're saying, dignity. We are all human. We all are in this human experience together. And if I focus on the problem, I'm going to be dreary and run down. If I focus on the solution, and that solution is, like you were saying, something as simple as saying kind words to ourselves first and then others, we can literally change the world. And I won't let anybody tell me it can't be done. I see a future for my family and my children with the technology that we have, with what we have available. Look at us. Like, you're in Oregon, I'm in California. How we would have never been able to connect back, in the 20s, probably never would have even seen each other. It'd be like snail mail, and how do you even get a car to get there? And
Right.
like, it was like impossible. We are so connected. And I think that the more that we can inspire folks, whether it's through the Binky or through them launching a business and looking at us and being like, I was just a mom who was tired of predation. I did have a skill set that was needed for this community, but I came to this work as a mother who was tired of predation. Stop harming our children. Like, I'm done. I'm like,
Yeah.
no more. No more. I don't know what we have to do on this planet to make it stop, but I know who does. I know who has a solution, and it's those who've lived through that, right? And have
Right.
come out luckily on the other side, which is tough to do. And then Mr. Ballin bringing us together, and him being like, there you go. Somebody who's like, hey, I'm just going to do storytelling, and
Let's
builds
take
up
your
this
skill.
massive following. He does storytelling. He's
I
really
know.
good at it
Yeah.
too. That was it. I'm going to tell stories.
That's the thing. What's
It's
your skill?
incredible.
But what's your passion? What's your
Yeah,
skill? And then it's
yeah,
effortless.
yeah. He's like an ex-Marine or something, right?
Yep.
Like
Seal.
this Navy SEAL. Sorry, Mr. Ballin. Yeah. So like that, to me, those are the stories. Yeah, you could definitely do it. It's really the focus and the support at the end of the day, and thankfully I raised my hand and said yes. I'll be one. You said 30 years ago,
Yes.
yep, I'm going to be a yes person.
Yep.
And then like, oh, who knows where the journey's going to lead, but at the end of the day, when I lay my head down at night, I'm thinking about like, how can I be inspired tomorrow to do something that's going to be disruptive in a positive way?
Okay, so that brings me to a word that's become really annoying to me. And it's those that identify themselves, I'm an activist.
Oh,
And they're just loud and annoying most of the time. And just wanting to be seen. And I prefer to be an actionivist
nice.
because
Yeah,
it's like while you guys are standing in that street corner, you can be making a blanket. Shout all you want, but why don't you sit there and just tie those blankets?
yeah.
No, right there. And then you guys can all figure out who right by you
Needs a
in this
blanket.
community needs those blankets.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that whole
Well, it's where this is. Oh my gosh, Johnny, this is showing up for me right now. Oh, he has on his podcast, he said it. It was the people who lack the courage of their convictions. That's what's annoying to us.
Yes.
They lack the courage of their convictions. If you are conviction and saying this is what I'm about, then do something about it.
Yes.
Stop talking about it.
Yep.
Do something.
Yep. And making a sign, isn't it?
No. And I can't, that's why I don't go to a lot of the rooms in the spaces where they're knocking their head against the wall, talking about the problem
Yep.
and not making any movement or overlaying the same solutions that
Right.
in 2025 are obsolete. So I'm all for reorganizing the structure of how our tax money is used in a way that we can harness technology to give us data-driven insights into what the long-term results are. If it's costing us $50,000 a head to have somebody at a safe home for a year, and I don't know where they are 2 years post program, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying we need to track people or like any of that, but I'm saying we have the technology now to actually do ethical data collection and see long term what those impacts are. The reason people don't know is because they don't build the relationship. Again, I guess I'm just really good at that because folks don't go away. They stay with us and they want to
Yeah.
check in and they want to let us know how they're doing. And then they actually want to give back. I mean, so many of Shyne's members are now donors. Even if it's $10, $25 a month, they're like, you gave me so much. Now they're dedicated. I'm sure you see that with Binky Patrol too, where people are like, I received, now I want to come volunteer. Now I want to make a blanket. Now I
Right.
want to be a part of this movement because of what it did for me. And that's the ripple effect.